Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I'm just going to show you how I make some flowers. Now in my video yesterday I coloured some of this beautiful velvet ribbon. Now this is from Beebeecrafts and this was beautiful. So I have done a unboxing for Beebeecrafts, and I've also shown you how I coloured this beautiful ribbon, the velvet ribbon, and it is lovely, really lovely. And look at how much you get. Oh, so exciting, so lots and lots. So I did a little bit of colouring. I did the ribbon, I did some of the little fabric that I had here, which was just sort of like mopping up the extra bits of dye that I used, and also some seam binding, and it's just come out so beautiful. I'm so happy. I think it took the colour really well, but it did go a little bit blotchy once it dried. I'm not sure whether it's because I had it crumpled up or not, but we will see. But I am just loving it. That was the green, so that was just one colour. But I think I mixed a couple of colours in with these, so that's where you can see it's gone a bit you know, blotchy. But this was one colour as well, and that's come out absolutely gorgeous. So loving it. Now I don't mind the little spots, because when I was making the flowers, it makes them look really lovely. So let's just pop these to the side. Now I'm going to have to do more of this because I just think it's beautiful, and it's still really soft. So I'm going to show you a few of the little flowers that I've been making. This is just gathered up. So this was the sort of like the first one that I did. So you can see how I've sewn it around. It's not the neatest, but it is lovely. I am loving it. And these ones, look, so I've just done it so you gather it in the middle and then you sew it around the outside as well. So this is one that I haven't sewn, and you can see it's like a little flower, isn't it? But this one is sewn around the top, so you can see it just sort of like flattens it and gives you a little bit more. I just wanted them to look a little bit more vintage. And I think I've achieved that. Now this one does look quite light, but when you pull it apart you can see it's quite dark, and I think when they sort of fold up, the little folded bits go a lot lighter. So it is this what I have been using, but I am just loving them. So this one I have popped a little, this is from Beebeecrafts, the little pearls and the diamante, and obviously the velvet as well. This one I just did into 3 little sections. I just have little bits and I just sort of like stuck them together, which I just think they look so pretty. This is probably my favourite that I've done. On these I do have some other velvet ribbon, which I've had in my stash for a little while. I have pink, which is tiny. It's very thin, and then I have this one. But they all came out lovely, absolutely gorgeous. And then obviously some seam binding flowers, which I can't resist making. Now I did add little beads around there. This is the one that I'm doing at the moment. So again, these are Beebeecraft beads, which I've had for a little while now. Here I'll link everything down below anyway, just so you can have a little look. This is the first flower that I made, and I actually made it out of, I sewed this up first and then I coloured it afterwards. So this one's gone quite sort of like hard, but if you can see, it looks, you know, the colours in there, and I used a little bit of gold in the middle. And at the moment I am just sewing little beads around the outside. I just think they're beautiful. That's one of the pearls, and I just popped a little back on there just so it doesn't fall through. But I do have the little diamantes, which I'm not sure whether I might pop one around the outside of this one, but I'm going to carry on with doing that later on today. So these are the big box of beautiful pearls that flatback pearls, 10 different sizes, which are beautiful. So loving those. That's what I've made the middles out of, these little middle bits. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, because that's easy, really simple. But look, I'm just loving them. So easy to do. So what I'm going to do first, I haven't got sort of like a blue one. Now I probably used roughly, I think on this one I used 9 inches of it, but this one I think maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure because it ruffled up a bit. So roughly about 9 inches. So I'm just gonna, so what's 9 inches? 23 centimeters. So I'm gonna just maybe 9 or 10 inches. So I'm just gonna snip a little bit of that off. I'm going to get my needle here, which I've already threaded up with some of this cotton, which I use on my sewing machine. I got that from Amazon. I think it's probably in my storefront as well. Right, so when you cut it, I've just gone over the edge like this, just to stop it fraying. And then I'm going to just do a little sort of like straight stitch down through one of the edges. Really, really simple. Now, just take your time doing it. Like this, and it's really nice because I'm loving slow stitching at the moment, so this is really, really nice thing to do. So you can do big stitches or small stitches however you like, but it's really, you know, it's very therapeutic. I've been doing this in the evening, watching telly over the weekend, which is really nice. I wasn't really watching the telly, I was doing this more, but it's just been so lovely, just to sort of, you know, see how these come out. I wasn't quite sure. I knew I wanted to do some like little flowers. Now I do need to do some green. I know I've got this one, but it's almost like a pale green. I need to do a little bit of a darker green, I think, and see if I can work out how to do some leaves. Be careful because this stuff does tend to tangle up a little bit. I've got a double cotton on here because this, when you pull it, it needs to be quite strong, and this cotton is quite strong. Well, I don't think it's cotton, I think it's a synthetic, but it's quite strong, and you need a stronger one to, you know, pull it, because it's got to be quite strong. So use your strongest cotton that you've got. So we're just gonna do little stitches through there. Oh, I have got it's my birthday next week, and Andy has given me a birthday present today because it came in the post and he said I could have it today because I've been doing some slow stitching. Let me just give you a quick peek. I haven't looked at it properly yet, but it is a Tilly Rose Daydream Journals, and it's sort of like slow stitching and things like that. Oh, it's beautiful. It is gorgeous. So I am so looking forward to having a little look through that later. Sit down, nice cup of coffee, and have a little look through. So I haven't had a book for ages, so I do. She does other books as well, so I'm going to have a quick peek and see, because it's so lovely. I know you can see everything on Pinterest and things like that, but there's nothing like having a book in your hand just to sit there and flick through and read, and oh, so looking forward to it and get inspiration, because I really am enjoying doing this sort of thing at the moment. I think it's, you know, my Shabadashiri journal that I did, which I just love. Doing the cover for that was beautiful. So I'm going to have to definitely, with this one, I think, is it this one? This one, I think is going to look lovely. Where's my, if I do another journal like this, look at that. It's just beautiful, isn't it? I wanted it to look sort of like nice and old looking. I think I need to get a few more, experiment with a few more colours of ribbon. And I think it's quite nice. If you like to colour things, obviously you can buy the ribbon coloured, but if you want it to be sort of like unique to you, it's quite nice to get the lighter ribbons and colour it yourself. Okay, so that's just threaded, really super simple. I'm going to just pull it quite tight. Let's pop that down like that. So this is why you want a nice strong thread so it doesn't break. So just be sort of gentle with it. Look, that little bit there looks really turquoisey, doesn't it? So I think they look lovely. Different colours. Look at that. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to pull it as much as I can. Then I'm going to pop them back to back like that. And then just sew those two pieces together. Let me just pull that a little bit tighter. Hold on tight. And then just pull that together. Now I'm going to go over the top of this one just to sew those ends together like that, nice and tight like that. Oops, make sure it doesn't all get caught up. There we are. Okay. Oops. Oopsie daisy, look at it. I think my thread is just a little bit too long. Don't really need that much. But I wanted this one so I could sew around the outside as well. So there we go. One more little stitch in there like that. Okay, so I think that's probably pretty well stuck together. One more for luck. There we go. Okay. Let's just snip that little bit off. I'm going to put my needle in my little pin cushion here so I don't lose it. Okay, so look at that. Oh, I do like that turquoise in there. There we go. Look at that. That's just beautiful, isn't it? So again, you can leave them like that and obviously add little things in the middle. I've got all these little bits like that. Beautiful little blue one in there. But what I'm going to show you, I'm going to just go around the edge to make it look a little bit flatter. These are nice if you're going to sort of like sew onto some fabric. If you wanted to sew it onto your journal cover or something like that, then you can actually do it as you sew it onto the cover. But I wasn't quite sure. I was just really experimenting on how to do these actually. So that's where it's come from. Right, that's where I've sewn. So I'm just going to go in like that. I'm going to do tiny stitches because tiny at the front and bigger at the back. So just go right down next to it, just so you can't see the stitch in there. But it's quite nice because this velvet ribbon will sort of like hide your stitches anyway. It sort of like goes into the little fuzzy bits, doesn't it? So if you just, can you see when you pull it, it just gathers all of that up. So we'll pull it together in a minute. So just pop that like that. I'll show you how to make the centerpieces in a minute with the little diamantes and the little flatback pearls because they are beautiful. So simple to make. I know you can sort of like buy things like that, but it's so lovely because they're quite expensive. It's so nice to sort of like make your own. So just sew these around. So yeah, this is a nice thing to do. So if you're, you know, you want a nice sort of like quiet day and you've got a couple of hours to do something, these are just so lovely, and it's a nice thing to have at the end, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? To have a really pretty thing that you've made. I just think they're lovely. Beautiful little gifts, aren't they, as well? Little handmade gifts. So I will probably make some smaller ones, because the ones that I did here, this little one, I actually cut this in half. I cut this down the middle, down through there, and then I just sort of like melted it with the lighter just so it didn't fray, and that's how you get sort of like, it's the same colour but it's like half of this piece, and I think that came out really nice as well. So you don't have to have them this wide. And again, you can buy all sorts of different shape, size ribbon as well. Obviously you don't have to do it out of velvet. I will probably try and find some softer as well fabric, or ribbon I mean, or use fabric as well and cut it into strips and try and do this. I'm loving the way it just pulls together. I think it looks really, really lovely. So just do a tiny little stitch where you've come up, going back down again. And you don't have to be that neat. Like that. Nearly there. So they don't take very long either to do. And depending on what size stitch you do at the back, depends how gathered it is, if you know what I mean. Not that I'm an expert, I just sort of like try and make it up as I go along. Decide to make things. I like to have something that's pretty, don't we? So there we go. Nearly done. I think that's probably pretty much at the end. Okay. Can you see how it's all, so obviously the harder you pull it, the more it comes together, but look at that. So you can see my stitches at the back. They're not the neatest, are they? But you can just pull them across, pull it round. They look a little bit like sea anemones, don't they? But I just think they are beautiful. Loving them. It's so pretty. Let's just go down. Move that around a little bit. There we go. Just do, oopsie daisy, little stitch in the back. And I did that very well, but that's okay. Look at these. Isn't that just a gorgeous? Just so pretty. Loving that colour. Absolutely love that colour. Now we can go with the blue in the middle. Now I have done it with these, look. This is a little seam binding one, and I've gone round the edge of that as well, which sort of flattens it out. So look at that. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Now I've got one of my little flatback. I'll show you how to make these in a minute. Look at that. Doesn't that just look beautiful? Or you can just have it on its own. I'm quite liking this actually, the purple with this on there. Like that. That's lovely, isn't it? Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of my This is just very thin felt, which I'm just going to cover that little hole up. Oh, so where did that go? Oh, it's still attached. So you can't pull it. It doesn't, the hole doesn't go really, really small, because obviously this gathers up and you can't make the hole too small. So this is why it's left with a little sort of gap in there. But again, you can just fill it up with whatever you like. Turn that over. I'm going to pop that on the back. So you could make these in some beautiful brooches. I'm going to just keep these as they are for now in my stash, and then I will probably end up, oh god, look at that, dip my finger in it, making some leaves. I need to find a tutorial on shows me how to make some nice leaves, I think, just so that we could have something that comes out and sort of make like a little cluster of different little ones like this. Wouldn't it be beautiful on a brooch or even on a bag? Oh, actually a bag would be really nice, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm going to pop this one on. I'm going to pop just a little bit of glue gun in there. Pop that down like that. And then this one can go in there. Look at that. Oh, love it. Nice blob of glue. Pick that up and just stick that on. Just beautiful. And like I said, you don't have to sew around there, but I just think they are beautiful. This one is really soft, so I don't think I will sew around the edge of this one. But I've got this beautiful brown velvet ribbon, which, look at that, that looks lovely, doesn't it? Now I've got some little tiny little sort of diamantes there. I think that will probably go in there. Love it. Should we do that? Let me just get another little piece of this. Chop this off. Let's just make a sort of circle on here. Like that. How are we doing for time? Are we good for time? Yes. We're good for time. Pop a little bit of this just around the edge. Pop that on. Stick that down like that. Going to add a little bit of glue into the middle. Oops. Oh, I do like, oh, don't get glue all over your flowers. I do like that brown. I got this brown ribbon, actually, the velvet one, to go into the book lovers journal, because I thought that would look nice and sort of vintagey. So I might make a few little flowers, but look at that, that's just fabulous, isn't it? Just love them. Look at all these gorgeous flowers. Do you like the one with the beads around? So let me just quickly show you how I'm doing this. I'm just going around sewing on here. So I'm just taking one of my little beads, just a little silver seed bead, if I can pick it up, and then pop that on. Just go round the edge like that. Then I'm going to go through just that one and the one behind it like that, so it comes out. So through. I just want them to be on there quite tight. Gosh, I'm getting stuck with my cotton now. Didn't do that very well, did I? Now I've got it stuck. Gosh, I'm trying to show you how to do it and it gets all stuck. Let me pull this through. Take one of them. I think it's that one. There we go. Because it's doubled up, it gets sort of like stuck. So I'm going to go, then I'm going to go back through the two little silver beads and then just through there like that, and then you just pick up another bead, but make sure you go back through some of the beads. But look at that, I just think that looks really, really lovely. Gosh, not going a very good example today, am I? Look at that. This one has gone a lot flatter because I coloured it when it was actually flower shaped. Anyway, that's that bit. Now look at these are beautiful, aren't they? So this is what I have been making. Actually, I'm going to do it on this bit because this is a little bit bigger. I've taken one of the flatback pearls. I'm going to take the biggest one. Let me just, okay, so I'm just going to take one of the little flatback pearls. I have got this lovely crystal chain, really, isn't it? It's like the little crystal bits, which I'm going to wrap around the edge of this. So let's just take this one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some glue on here, and what you want to do, you want to put quite a good splodge of glue because you want it to come out around the edges, and then you want to just stick that on. Can you see it's around the edge? And then just take your little bit of chain and just wrap it around. But make sure, where's my tweezers? Make sure you are, you know, level. Can you see? So simple. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Let me just get a little bit of glue. And wrap that round. Then we're going to, with those, which one will it go? This one. Just chop it off. These just cut off really simple with your little snippers. Pop a little bit of glue in there, look. Oopsie daisy. And bring that and stick it round in there. And then you've got a lovely little middle of your flower. Now the first ones I did, I think I've stuck them all on now. The first one on this one, I actually sewed it onto these, the little things, I sewed it onto here, but that was like way too fiddly. Oops, pick up my glue gun off the floor. It was way too fiddly, so what I've just done, I've just glued it. When I stuck it on, the glue came around the outside, so I just stuck it around and it works perfect. So look at these, they are lovely. And then all you do then, take this and then just cut your felt off. Now this is really quite thin felt, which is quite nice. So just go around the outside and look at that. You've got a lovely little embellishment. Now I think you can probably get different colour of the crystal bits. I'm not sure whether Beebeecrafts sells them, but it's worth going and having a look. And then you will have a nice little selection of coloured ones. Are just beautiful, but so simple to make. Let's pop those bits over there, and then you've just snipped them around like this. Oh, it's just been so lovely to make these. Look at that, beautiful little embellishments. So I've got a nice little pile in here. Shall we just embellish this one? Look at that. I just think they are so pretty. Oh, I've also made one just out of what did I use? It was this one, but I had a thicker one somewhere. I don't know what I've done with that. It's this colour, and this was really cheap. Oh, there it is. This one here. So this I got, I don't know where I got this one, but Beebeecrafts has this one as well. But look at that, just beautiful, loving them. And that, exactly the same. I sewed around the middle and I sewed around the outside, and it just gives you this different look to your flowers, I think, which is beautiful. So should we just have one of these, or I could just pop one of these in the middle, or we could have a little bit of lace. Actually, I might use, what do I have? I got some of this beautiful, it's the tulle, but it's that very, very thin. So let me just take a little section. Not thin, I mean soft. It's the very, very soft one, and that's what I've got round here. Just making a little diddy flower. Let's take my needle. Like that, that's ready done. So hopefully you can sort of see this. Let's go through there so we can catch that, and then all I'm going to do again, just do a little running stitch along the edge of here, just to make a little flower. Just gather that up like that, and what you want to do is just get this end on that end. I can pop those together and just sew them together end to end. Pull it tight. Really simple. So you can do this with any bit of fabric or whatever you've got. Lace or fabric. Cut off a little bit of fabric if you've got some pretty fabric that you want to use. So flowers are just so simple to make. Beautiful embellishment as well, aren't they? Look at that. I might cut that down just a little bit. And we just gather that up. There we go, pop that in there. Chop that off. Do you think that's going to be a little bit too big? Not really, but it could do with a little. Not very even. There we go, that will do. Now we want a little bit of this. I've had this felt in my stash for ages, so it's good to have things, isn't it? Because you never know when you're going to use it. And these are ideal for backing these. And if you wanted to make a brooch, I might actually make one of these into a brooch. Got to figure out how to make a couple of leaves, because I think they need a little bit of few leaves on there. Maybe a little bit of dingly dangly of the seam binding. There we go. Just to block that hole up. Which way round? Pop that in there. Should we pop that? Look at that. That is just so pretty, isn't it? But I do actually like these little tiny, tiny ones in there as well. See, that looks nice with a little. I think that's too big. I've got tiny, tiny diamantes in here as well somewhere. There we go. There's one. Tiny, tiny one. This is where I need my little, look at that, just so pretty. Oh my gosh, there's so many different ways you could use it. You could even stick that in there. Oh, I wonder if that would work. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? No, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick my little pearl on there. Let's pop that. Pop that in there. Pop that down like that, and stick this one on. Nice blob of glue so they stick well. Look at that. probably could have cut off a little bit more of the felt really on that one. But look at that, they are beautiful, aren't they? Now I wonder if I could use, which would look better. Do you think this is quite nice? This is quite nice, isn't it? Or I could have both of those. That's got a flower in there. But you could do a really, really lovely. It used to be a bit gathered, but you could have these sort of like hanging down with the little bits of lace as little brooches. I think I'm going to have to make something really pretty with these, aren't I? Maybe like a little journal cover, little embellishment, a topper. But there we go, guys. That is some beautiful, beautiful flowers. I am loving them. So I've used the gorgeous what's it called, velvet. It's a velvet ribbon. You get 20 yards on here, and it's an inch wide, which is lovely. And look at that, it's just beautiful, isn't it, when it's coloured, just coloured with some acrylic inks, and this is what you have, and I just think they are lovely. And then we've got our little crystals and our little pearls that we made as well, which are beautiful. So please do have a go, and do pop over to Beebeecrafts. I'll pop a link down to all the bits and pieces that I've used anyway. Have a go at making lots of little flowers. They just are fab in your stash, aren't they? Because you never know when you're going to use them. And they are very shabby and pretty. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye bye.